Early in the morning, I was sitting in the kitchen enjoying a drink with my coworker after finishing our conversation. My wife was already up and had prepared a delicious breakfast for us. The thought of such a dedicated partner reminded me of my motivations for starting my business and the effort I put into it. We lingered at the table for a few more minutes, sharing plans for the day and basking in the warm sunlight that illuminated the kitchen. As soon as we finished our meal, I left the house, got in my car, and drove to the office, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the stability I had created for our family. Upon arriving at the office and entering the building, I immediately greeted my coworkers and asked several of them to bring in a report. After greeting everyone, I looked around the office a bit. The usual hustle and bustle of people getting ready for their day gave me a sense of satisfaction. 10 minutes later, I made my way to my office, settled into my chair, and my work as a business owner began. I needed to answer a lot of emails, sign documents, and prepare for an afternoon meeting. An hour after lunch, I received a call that a young woman had come in to interview for the vacant secretary position. A few minutes later, an attractive and very pleasant young woman named Emma walked into my office. "Hello, I'm here for the interview," she said. Her voice was calm, but with a hint of excitement in it. "Hello, I'm Charles Thompson, possibly your future boss." "Let's get started," I said, trying to make her feel comfortable. "I'm ready for my interview," Emma replied confidently, her eyes meeting mine without hesitation. Emma presented herself very well, never once hesitating or doubting her answers to my questions. She had an impressive background for someone her age, and I could tell she had put a lot of effort into her career. She was professional, but also had a warm personality that I knew would fit well in an office environment. Therefore, I had no problem hiring her, and she immediately took up her duties as I urgently needed a secretary. Throughout the day, whenever I walked around the office, my eyes were constantly drawn to the pretty receptionist. Emma was young, well experienced, and undeniably beautiful. The girl worked hard, as I realized she wanted to complete her internship as soon as possible. Her determination reminded me of myself when I first started working determined and ready to prove myself. I called Emma into my office to chat with her after her first few days on the job. When she walked in, I started the conversation, wanting to check on her progress and make sure she was settling in well. "How are you settling in, Emma?" I asked, leaning back in my chair. "Well, it's hard to make an accurate opinion in a few days, but so far so good," she said with confidence in her voice, her eyes following mine unerringly. "Do you want to get through the month-long internship faster?" I asked, watching her reaction carefully. "Of course, Mr. Thompson," she replied, her enthusiasm obvious. "Just call me Charles, just Charles when we're alone." "That's how I make arrangements with all my employees," I said, trying to reassure her. "Well, that's a bit unusual," Emma replied, slightly surprised but smiling. Well, Charles," she said, smiling even wider. "How do I get my internship done faster? I'm ready for anything." Stepping closer to her, I gently stroked her shoulder. I touched her delicate hands, and then, placing my hands on her waist, I began to kiss her sweet, honey-like lips. To my surprise, she didn't resist and seemed pleased with the closeness. We stayed in the study, and our meeting continued on the couch. Emma was well-built, feminine, and graceful, just as I had expected. It was clear from the way she responded to me that there was a mutual attraction between us, and at that moment, the office seemed to disappear, leaving the two of us alone. After that, we had a few minutes to recover. Emma adjusted her clothes and smiled at me before leaving the office, her cheeks slightly flushed. I stared after her, a mixture of emotions raging inside me, excitement, satisfaction, and slight nervousness. I knew it would complicate things, but at that moment I didn't care. The rest of the day passed like a blur. I tried to focus on work, but my thoughts kept coming back to Emma. Her smile, her voice, the way she moved it was all imprinted in my memory. I looked forward to the next time we were alone together. I knew I had to be careful, but I couldn't deny the attraction I felt for her. If you enjoyed this story, please give it a like and subscribe for more content.